It's Eastwood this time! Oh, what a goal! Freddie Eastwood has given Southend the lead!
Pace in the league, and in stoppage time, Peter Clark headed in the equaliser on his 27th birthday. It'll be some party.
Weston has delivered the cross. Brought on by Craw. This is Kiggins!
Absolutely brilliant, isn't it? It really is.
The problem is, Southend United owe the taxman 275 grand, and if they can't find it by August 23rd, this club will go bust.
We just down the other side. So what happens on Wednesday? We'll find out what the judge says.
It's been announced that Southend United have been sold.
Hi Diversity, it's Bernie, and thanks for your questions. When did I first start supporting Southend United? Well, my first game was in 1978, sitting on my dad's knee in the East Stand for a defeat against Swansea City, and I can remember it so well.
Probably just Southend from about 14 years old, so around about 22 years now.
I've been supporting Southend now for probably best part, I'd say, 30 odd years. I first sort of started going when I was around about 5, 6, as I sort of remember. I was still in primary school. I have some early memories of sort of being picked up from school on a Tuesday night, driving down to Roots Hall to watch Southend play under the floodlights on a Tuesday night.
Game, I think I was 11. I went to Roots Hall and watched Southend v West Ham. I think we lost 1-0. But so that's 34 years I've been supporting Southend through the highs and the lows.
How long have I supported Southend? It's a good question. I think at the time I was registered as the youngest ever junior blue. I think Dad probably did on the day that I was born. I don't know whether that's still the case now, but I mean that's quite cool. And he's got pictures of me younger when I was in a baby grow and on flags and all sorts. But yeah, attending time, been going since 2010.
I was at Southend about 7 years, and that was since I was like 3 or 4 years old.
I've followed Southend now for since I was 8, 9 years old. Started off in the South Bank when it was the wide open terrace there, and then moved to the north, as you do as a teenager, because that's sort of like your step up, I suppose.
So I started watching Southend around 1989, 1990. So it's about 34 years, so a very, very long time. Back then I used to play on Saturdays, and I got invited by a mate to come and watch Southend who were playing Friday nights. So, you know, it worked out perfectly for me because I was able to carry on playing on Saturdays and go and watch a game somewhere.
When we beat Sunderland to stay up in League One back in 2019, that was my best memory watching live. I watched live abroad the playoff final back in Spain, but that was a good moment. And yeah, my first ever game was quite a good moment because it got me hooked.
Roman, God, there's been many. There's been relegation battles that we've won, that first ever double promotion to the second tier, Crowney getting his last day double to put us up at Peterborough, and Benji getting the winning goal at Bury a year later on that historic day to complete the job. Amazing times. There's also been huge cup shocks. There's a 4th division side beating Tottenham with Gazza and Lineker in the side, just ahead of Italia 90, and obviously many years later slaying Man United with Rooney, Ronaldo and Fergie sent packing by the seaside.
Best moment was probably just under a year ago when I saw my first win against Gateshead. It was a great moment, and I just remember the end, us all cheering, and we got the players' autographs, and yeah, that was great.
Obviously the standout ones are your Man United and, you know, playing Chelsea, and obviously that great Wickham playoff final.
Ricky Otto and Barry Fry was at the helm. I actually think Barry Fry reading the four corners because I didn't know where the next Southend goal was going to come from. So that was a good memory. More recently, obviously, Joe Piggott scoring that breathtaking equaliser in the playoff final that saw us get promoted against Wycombe. And also the Man United game where we beat some of the world's best players.
And straight away sort of really enjoyed the atmosphere and loved watching the team and the players like Steve Tilson, David Crown, who was amazing, Andy Ansah, Ian Benjamin, Paul Sansom, great times. So yeah, brilliant, amazing times.
Relegation to the National League, and in our first season in the National League, the Chesterfield result, getting hammered 4-0 at home, the protests on the pitch, just wasn't a nice day.
I think the lowest point would probably be the Torquay game in the National League, so our first season in the National League. I think probably 400, 500 fans made the long journey down to Torquay, and to concede in the last minute was gutting. But I think there was just no performance there. It was a very Phil Brown performance. I barely remember us having a shot. The players came over at the end to talk to the fans, which I think is never really a good sign. Seen it recently with other clubs, but yes, that was really low.
The saddest moment was when the club nearly died, because that means we'd all have to start all the way down the park again. There'd be no stadium, nothing to watch until we get all the way back up. And also, it'll take ages for the club to reform. It'll take like 7 years, so that's the worst moment.
The low point, I'd go with Charlie, Solihull Moors, that time when Ron came down onto the terrace. It was absolutely pouring down. We were losing, we were just a really poor team, and it just seemed like the utter nadir of being a Southend fan.
It was probably when we saw against Solihull Moors. Ron Martin tried to come down and talk to fans, and everyone was shouting. It was a miserable day. It was just horrible.
There's been a few. I mean, following Southend, it's a roller coaster, and spectacular, crashes from glory and a few highs, which is, but it's always exciting and it's always worth the effort. And I've stuck with them now for 50 odd years. So the worst ones, I suppose, falling out of the FA Cup to non-league opposition, really always stuck in my throat, and I know that's the joy of the cup, I suppose,
Moments. So yeah, there's been obviously a lot with the embargoes and the court cases, but for me it was actually a few years ago when we lost a former shrimper in Justin Edinburgh, who came into my unit with a cardiac arrest, and as a former hero of mine, obviously I'm bound by confidentiality. I couldn't talk about it to anyone, and there was a lot of speculation in the media about Justin's mystery illness, and so that was a difficult time for me to take.
The consortium, well, let's hope the future is brighter ahead. Let's hope that Roots Hall gets the makeover that she deserves. I'm so pleased that we're staying at our spiritual home, never ever wanted to leave there, and let's hope that the old girl soon looks better than ever and ready for not just us, the current fans, but future generations of Southend fans. And let's also hope that after 117 years of history at our club, the people that buy it want to finally unlock its massive potential, be people that are there for the football reasons first. Our support this season, in the hardest of times and the darkest of hours, has been amazing, home and away. On a par with what we had for 6 years in the Championship in the 90s, just absolutely inspirational. And let's hope the new owners really feed into that, because when you look at the likes of Brentford and Bournemouth and Luton, you can really see what's achievable at a club that's run the right way. Finally, thanks to you, Diversity, for all you do and for your infectious enthusiasm in everything you do. If we could bottle that, we'd be billionaires overnight, and we could bankroll a run all the way to the Champions League final and bring that trophy back to the Essex Riviera. Keep up the good work, pal. Cheers.
For me, I was fortunate to speak to Justin and a couple of the consortium members, and from speaking to them, they're just real down to earth. They're fans. They're a few of the consultants, the local people, they know the club, they know the town, they know the supporters themselves, and I think that's very important going forward, that we still keep that embedded in the club, that the heart of the club is us fans, the supporters. Without supporters there isn't a club. We've seen that this season, last season, despite the bad times, the following we've had, the support we've had, that bond between the supporters and the players, it's very hard to find that in any other club.
Hopes for the future with Justin Rees and co. Who knows, to be honest. I've had the privilege of speaking to Justin myself. He's clearly very enthusiastic and he just gets it. And he's shared some exciting plans just about the stadium and sort of what he wants to do with the club, getting as much money in as possible while Roots Hall is still sort of an unsustainable footballing location. But a year of stability, it would be nice, just normal, having to worry about normal problems like suspensions, injuries, missing out on players when you're not under an embargo, a year of stability, and then obviously build from there. I'd like to think in 5 years' time we'd at least be back in the Football League. And one final bit that isn't an answer to a question, just wanted to wish Diversity and all other Southend content creators the best of luck in the upcoming FCA Awards. Good luck, guys.
My key hope for the future with Justin is that a way can be found for proper fan involvement in the running of the club, so that we never have to return again to the miseries inflicted on us by Ron. I don't just mean ownership, but in proper engagement too with fans who have the club at their heart. Without its fans, the club is nothing, and the club has forgotten that for far too long now. But I'm confident that things will change, and I'm really looking forward to the future and the ride ahead of us now.
So for the future, with the Justin Rees and the new consortium, stability is got to be number one, and just become a normal club again, become a club that connects back with the community, and the fans can be passionate about and be right behind, and going forward, and just have that toxicity gone and positive moving forward.
With the likes of Justin Rees and the future of the club, first and foremost, let's get out of that embargo. That's probably the number one thing we need to do. Let's give Kev and the team some budget to bring in some players. It'd be nice to see a marquee signing, but that's to sort of work within our boundaries, and I'm sure John still will have a few gems up his sleeve.
For Southend is that we'd be able to get back into the Football League where we belong and just get out of the National League.
And for the future, 17th of November, big day for the club, big day. And let's hope it all goes through successfully. First thing I'd do is get the three amigos signed up on long-term contracts, and then move on. I'd go sign up with some of the current players, extend their contracts, but ultimately go to Kev's whiteboard wish list and start making those dreams reality, and get some 5-6 new players in, bolster the squad, and a big push for the playoffs is my hope for the season. Okie good luck, cheers.
I think sort of security, some financial security, stability for the staff, the players, the fans, and just some improvements on and off the pitch.
I think hopefully we can get promotion from the National League, then League 2, and then League 1. So I think if we are a sustainable club again, not even goal every 2 seconds, I think that will be good. And come on, Blue Blues!
It's safe to say following Southend United is always going to be a roller coaster ride. But now with a light at the end of the tunnel as close as it's ever been before, I'm hopeful we are going on to a brighter future. Thank you all for watching. Peace.